Ladies and gentlemen, we got a gimp yordle. Code Blue, I repeat, we got a submissive, leather suit wearing, thank you daddy, may I have another yordle. What more could I possibly say to convince you to watch this show? So Netflix released its second batch of Arcane episodes, and I have been wildly uncomfortable ever since. But you know what? It's for the best, because I want a show like this to make me uncomfortable. The first batch of episodes introduced me to a brutal, unforgiving world and showed me that it wasn't going to be pulling any punches. So naturally, I wanted this batch to continue surprising me with how dark and mature it could be. Oh boy, did I get that! Okay, brief recap and spoilers for episodes 1 through 3, so if you haven't seen those, definitely go check them out first.
And if you're on the fence about whether or not you should watch those, go check out my review on Arcane Act 1.
Arcane Act 1 was an emotional betrayal, the likes of which had never been witnessed by all the stars known to man. Boys became men, and girls became men. We were expecting this.
Well, now you can live that dream aboard our magnificent ship, the Morning Star!
And instead got this. Where last we left, Jinx ganked her own team, scoring herself a sweet double kill, and Vander disconnected right before the surrender. Now, roughly, I think like 8 years later, Jinx is working with Silco, Vi's stuck in prison, and Jace is climbing that sweet social ladder, baby. Victor and Caitlyn are also more prevalent in this arc, though I can't really get into saying what they're doing without getting into spoilers. And that's the thing. This arc opens up so much and puts a spotlight on so many other characters. Jace, Victor, Caitlyn, Heimerdinger, Imagine Dragons, all of your favorite League of Legends characters are here. God, don't you just love hopping in a Summoner's Rift and playing Dan Reynolds, or Daniel Platzman, or Daniel Wayne Sermon? What the fuck? Why are there so many fucking Dans in this band? I should really start listening to Imagine Dragons. Just a nice group of fun-loving Dans. You know, that's my kind of band. I just love playing Ben McKee. That's my main right there. Dude's a great jungler. Anyway, for those of you not getting this bit, Imagine Dragons is briefly in one of these episodes, and it's just as horrible as you'd imagine. Not just the music, the literal band is in the literal show, and it's the worst part of the series by far. Arc 1 was definitely the Jinx and Vi show, but this arc focuses really heavily on Jace. Unfortunately, Jace sucks. No, he's not that bad. Jace and Caitlyn are definitely the least interesting characters in the show, but fortunately, the stuff happening around them is really cool. This arc focuses a lot on the politics of Piltover, and they're really intriguing. Character relationships are multiplying and developing. It feels like everybody's playing each other. Jace's Hextech technology has opened up a lot of opportunities for Piltover, and everybody wants a piece of it for their own personal reasons. Also, Victor's cool. Victor's just a cool dude in a loose mood, you know? I love him. He's so weird. It's really cool seeing the scope of this world expand, and this arc sets up a ton of exciting stuff for part 3. But that's the thing. This is definitely part 2 in a 3-part story. The quality of writing, action, and engagement hasn't dipped at all. I was still glued to my TV through every episode, but most of what's going on here is purely setup. If Act 2 and 3 of Arcane were terrible, I could still watch Act 1 as its own satisfying storyline. However, I really think that whether or not I look back at Arc 2 fondly is going to be determined by how satisfying the payoff in Arc 3 is. And don't get me wrong, that's totally fine. Like I said, the politics and character development in this arc are really engaging. But if the payoff to all of this setup falls flat, then I'd fear that it's gonna make this arc sort of feel like a waste of time. Okay, I know it sort of sounds like I'm shitting on the show now, but I really did love this arc, and most of that enjoyment comes from Jinx and Vi. Holy shit, do they do Jinx right here. Jinx blew me away. She is so good 90% of the time. I love the changes they made to her character here. In the game, we only ever really see her being wacky and excitable, but we get to see a different side of her here. She's more closed off and emotionally tortured. She's uncomfortable to watch. She feels dangerous and unhinged, and not in like the fun way like she's depicted in the game. Jinx in League of Legends is pretty clearly a Harley Quinn ripoff, which is fine, but she's more goofy and fun than actually crazy. She's supposed to feel unpredictable and deranged, but she more just comes off as like quirky. Like, you never feel like she's gonna commit some grand act of terror. At worst, she's getting up to some mischief. Arcane's Jinx is all about that terror, baby, and that's when she's at her most interesting. Arcane did to Jinx what the Dark Knight did for the Joker. Like, she still feels true to her character, but her craziness feels genuinely disturbing. That is, until they remember that she's supposed to be a Harley Quinn ripoff. Every now and then, she'll very uncharacteristically just snap into this weird Harley Quinn impression, where she's like calling people toots and does kind of a Long Island accent for no reason. And yeah, this is more in line with the Jinx we know from the game. But the character Arcane established is so different and works best when she feels manic rather than silly. It just kind of feels like they were afraid to commit to their interpretation of the character, and it makes her feel inconsistent. There's even a scene in here that is identical to a scene Harley Quinn has with the Joker in the first Suicide Squad movie. Speaking of the Joker and Harley Quinn, oh boy. Very, very minor spoilers coming up, but what I'm about to say happens like 15 minutes into the first arc, so you know, up to you. Listen, I'm not gonna fucking hold your hand through this whole review, alright? You gotta make some decisions. You're gonna be a big boy and stick around, or you're gonna be a little baby bitch. So like I said, Jinx is working with Silco now, and they have a relationship that's... It's said to be father-daughter, and I've been seeing a lot of people on Reddit also say they got the daddy-daughter... Ooh, hold on. Not gonna say daddy here. I've been seeing a lot of people on Reddit saying they got the father-daughter relationship vibe, but... I don't know, you guys must be pretty damn close to your fathers. I definitely think there are allusions here to them having a one-sided romantic relationship, not unlike Harley and Joker. There are a lot of shots that, in my opinion, are pretty clearly meant to make you wonder whether or not Jinx has romantic feelings for Silco, which is so fucked up, but in like the best way. It's so fucked up. Silco found Jinx when she was like 8, and now she's like 15. You've got scenes where she's like curling up next to him like a cat, and some shots that trick you into thinking they're about to kiss. And I really think it adds so much to Jinx's character. Because with Harley and Joker, you're only ever like, aw man, that sucks. You know, he's clearly using her and doesn't love her back. Aw man, poor Harley. Gotta get out of that relationship, girl, he sucks. But here, the age and power dynamic involved makes any scene with these two so uncomfortable. It makes Silco way more terrifying and Jinx way more tragic, because she's clearly trying to fill a dependency void left in her heart by Vi, and it makes her feel emotionally damaged in such a grounded and brutally realistic way. And I guess that's my biggest point. Jinx's dependency issues, paranoia, and psychosis are all portrayed in an uncomfortably grounded way. They're all earned. You can see how her past shaped her. Then when she's doing her Harley Quinn shtick, you're like, the hell did this come from? But like I said, this is another incredible batch of Arcane episodes, and the show has shown no signs of slowing in momentum. This arc develops the world, politics, and characters to such a satisfying degree, and sets up a really exciting future for Act 3. I know I don't really talk about Vi, but you know, she's still sick as hell. She's got some really brutal, awesome fight scenes in this arc, and she's just, I don't know, really fucking cool. I don't know, there's not much more to say about her other than that. Besides, you know, this is the Jinx video.
Maybe when Arcane drops its next batch of videos, I'll make one centered around Vi. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it.
I want to know in the comments below what your favorite part of Arcane has been. Let me know.
And I will see you guys next time.
I come from the south side where they fill with the liquor. Drink this and let the body flicker. Water drips on your tongue like honey. Everybody in the sundress, and it's sunny out.